Bankai.
Kind of messed me up on my intros there, bro.
All right, so first of all, that was like it kicked us out. All right, so I had to try
No,
to throw us back in.
I no, I did that so that it was blank, so that when I did the sound, I could pop myself in, and then I was gonna do the Bankai and pop you in. That's okay, whatever. What's
Oops.
going on, everybody? Welcome back to Full Nerd Academia, the podcast. I'm your host, Master D. Mido, joined as ever by where is it?
Oh yeah,
Okay, right there. The man, the myth, the legend, right there, Mr. Bankai Merc. What's going on, bro?
can't complain. It's a beautiful day. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to everybody out there. We decided to s- use this day right before we get our finale for Ahsoka.
Oh,
But
that's not gonna be the finale.
it's not the
We still
finale.
got a
That's what.
few
We got
episodes.
two
We
more
got three.
episodes, right?
We got three
Or
episodes.
three.
We got
Okay.
three.
Ooh, even better. Thank God, because there's literally nothing on right now. Oh, so you know what that means? It's gonna run right into Loki.
Loki. Yes, sir.
Yes, we got something to watch still.
Uh, yes. I mean, we normally try to do this on Sundays, guys, but I had some family slash birthday activities this past weekend, so
Yes, yes.
I was a
Happy
bit
belated birthday.
preoccupied yesterday. Thank you, sir, thank you. But yeah, so I mean, we decided, we're gonna go ahead and push it to today, but we're gonna try to keep it, nice and tight today.
Daddy.
We're gonna try to keep it nice and tight today so that Mr. Bonkai Merc here could check out some wrestling tonight.
Yes, sir. Monday Night Raw, baby. Main event: Jay Uso against McIntyre. Drew McIntyre.
Okay, okay. You sound excited. You sound super excited.
I am. I like Jay Uso. I like Jay Uso for a while. And ever since I started watching again, Jay Uso has been probably one of my favorite wrestlers right now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Well,
well,
outside of Roman Reigns. If
right.
like that's literally right now my PSN, which is actually going to change. Um, my PSN right now is Acknowledge Me. I was gonna put the whole thing, but it's too long. But definitely gonna acknowledge me as your tribal chief. Um, and then it's also my Discord name as well.
I was gonna change mine at one point to give me what I want.
I'm like to switch it now to Daddy, Daddy, Daddy.
Oh Lord, oh man. Sorry guys, we've been having fun with that too much this weekend.
Yeah,
Um,
way too much fun.
way too much fun with that this weekend. But all right, so not a whole lot of news. There hasn't been a whole lot going on lately, honestly, because of the Writers Guild and Screen Actors Guild strikes and everything. So we're not really going to do too much news today, but we are going to do some reviews. We've seen some things, we've watched some stuff. One thing we're going to be saving until next week, I believe. This week we're going to be talking Ahsoka. The last two episodes, one this was
4 and
episode
5.
4 and then episode 5. So we'll start off with that, and then we're gonna get into a little bit of anime stuff, something that we haven't really touched on too much since starting the show. So let's go ahead and kick it off with some Ahsoka, man. Give me 1 second here. Let me just make sure we got the. Oh, hold on. Something's not right. Give me 1 second. Let me just get these banners up.
Yeah, now I think about it too. It's like,
A
yeah,
little bit.
there's no way that we don't touch on anime, and our name is, kind of right there, which is very similar to
It's
a
like
certain anime.
right.
Yeah, so
That's
there's
a
no
full
way
anime.
that we gotta touch on our start. But oh man, all right, I'm gonna say this again. I love Rosario Dawson. Oh my God, Rosario Dawson. Oh my God. All right, let's talk about Ahsoka.
Let's talk about it, man. So we're gonna start with episode 4 because this last episode was insane. But episode 4 was really good. I dug it quite a bit. We finally kind of get the conflict between the Jedi and the Dark Jedi. Is
Yeah,
what
because
we're gonna call them, because
yeah,
they haven't said
because
that
they're
they're
not
Sith,
Sith.
and they don't have red lightsabers. They got the orange lightsabers. So
Hmm. Yeah,
we're gonna
so
assume
they're
it's Dark
they're
Jedi
dark
or the
Jedi.
Jedi mercenaries or whatever. So we finally get that conflict with them. Um, it comes when Hu Yang is trying to fix the ship while they're on the planet. Do you remember what the name of the planet is that they're on? By the way, it slips my mind.
I forgot the name of the planet myself.
Yeah, I completely forgot what the name of the planet is that they're stuck on. But so Hu Yang's trying to fix the ship, and then the like assassin droids or I think they're HK assassins or whatever they're called. They come in and then they start fighting with Hu Yang. Hu Yang starts putting the thumpers on him for a little bit. You know, he kind of does a little bit of work. Now, obviously, he can't do much because he's not necessarily programmed for that, but he does have a little bit up his sleeve, you know, so to speak. And then basically he does enough to alert Ahsoka and Sabine that, hey, something's going on out here. So they come out and obviously they take down the droids pretty easily. But then we also get Marok, who is the Sith Inquisitor or the Inquisitor that we see throughout the first 3 episodes, and Shin Hati, so like the Padawan or the apprentice, and then obviously they start fighting with Ahsoka and Sabine respectively. What were your thoughts, man, on like the reveal of Marok?
Marok was the one that got blasted by Ahsoka, right? Or just blew up out of.
Well, yeah, he got.
All right,
yeah, so yeah, this is basically
there was a lot of speculation that, and everybody was really hoping this was true. That that was the what's his name? I'm about to say God Killer.
Star Killer.
Star Killer. I don't know. I can't think of Star Killer, but that's what the speculation everybody thought it was going to be. I'm not gonna lie, he was definitely put, like, that was the second time we seen him fight, and he was against Ahsoka, and he was putting up. This time it was a really good fight, but she was like, "All right, look, I don't have to hold back now. I'm taking you down so I can get I can get to what I need to get to." And the part that confused me was when she stabbed him with the saber. He just blew up out of thin air, like he just. So like,
right?
What is he?
But it
what
wasn't
was
even,
he?
It wasn't even. So it was so strange because like she slashes him, and like it looked like dust came out of it, right? Like dust came out of his suit. It looked like.
Yeah. So like it made, you know what I mean? It made me damn, I have to go to Batman. It made me think of the Court of Owls. when they defeat one and they just
right when they okay.
Yeah, so like he's just like vanished out of thin air. And I'm like, whoa, did he get snapped? Like what happened? Like what are they? Are they supposed to be like clones that they made that can't stand if they get slashed or something like that? Like I really want to know why that happened.
How is this? Hold on a second. How is this from our?
Oh, so I typed that in there.
You
what planet? Yeah. So you asked me what planet it was. I typed the name of the planet.
I was like, who has access to our comment?
That was me. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. So they're on Cetos. Okay. But yeah, dude, no, it did remind me of that. So like whenever they defeat a Talon or whatever, that they just kind of crumble and like fall apart because they're like disembodied. They don't really have necessarily a soul. Or
I take it back. Real, they're putty.
Yeah, there you go. The only thing that I can think of, and the thing that it made me think of instantly, was that he was probably like something that was brought back to life through Sith alchemy. So like whether whoever it was that might have created him or might have brought back his spirit or whatever this was, probably had like either found an Inquisitor's like, or maybe it could have been like a dead Inquisitor that they found and we're just like, all right, well, we're gonna use some Sith alchemy and bring it back to life type of thing, or at least reanimate it more or less. That's the only thing I can think of. But it was in a way, it was kind of underwhelming to find out that it was nothing.
Yeah, it was.
I
That
was
that kind of
really kind of
sucked.
hoping that it was someone.
I don't know if you'll be on the same page with me, but you know who I wish it was?
Who?
Kanan Jarrus, to give it that
Like that gravity, that weight.
yeah.
I
So
sort of I sort of agree with you there, but I'll take that one step further. I kind of wish that it was Ezra.
at first I was thinking that too. So it, like you said, it gave like the gravity, like it brings like, oh no, like he went to the dark side type of thing. Um yeah, but now for me, yeah, I was thinking Ezra at first too, but then I really started like breaking it down in my head. I'm like, damn, I wish it was Kanan Jarrus. So it's like y'all left me on this planet to die, even though that wasn't what happened. He sacrificed himself, but still, like, well, like it's like a mind twist. Like they found him, he was still alive, and they turned him to the dark side, saying that they left him there to basically die instead of trying to rescue him.
Right. Yeah, I could kind of see that, like sort of
It's kind of like
twist
how
and kind
Anakin
of
had, but he wasn't looking for power. Well, Kanan wasn't looking for power,
well,
but yeah.
no, and I mean, if anything, if they were to like bring him back with Sith alchemy, sort of pour the emotions of him having to have sacrificed himself. You
Hmm.
know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd have been the. I feel like that would have definitely had a nice twist to the story.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm just yeah, like I said, I mean, it's not like it doesn't like it doesn't break the show for me. It was
No,
just like one of those things like, oh man, I really wish that ended up being someone. And who knows, we still got 3 episodes left, so maybe they do go back and end up finding out that like this was somebody that they knew, or maybe it was somebody somewhat important to the story. If we don't get it, then we don't get it. But
yeah, it's
um
like you said, it's not going to do nothing to the story whether we find out or not. But now, to me, I feel like the most important thing is finding Ezra, which I think was going to happen in the next, not in the next 2 episodes, but probably the last 2 episodes.
probably the last episode for sure. But yeah. So we leave uh or after
Good.
Ahsoka defeats Marok, she goes to. I think she was going to try and help Sabine, but Sabine assured her that I've got this, I can do this. So she leaves her so that she can um, go and pursue the map and go and basically stop them from using the map to get the coordinates in order to jump it to the next galaxy, right?
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Yep. That's
and
exactly what
then
happened. Oh, hold on. Tell
and
me,
then
because I didn't get to talk about it. Hewing, when he was getting busy, the funny part about that situation was when the other ones came, he was like, like they cornered him and they held him down. Help!
yeah, he was sitting there trying to yell
Help!
for help. And he covered his he covered his mouth.
Yo, like he's a
Yeah,
robot.
it's
How do
so
you
good.
cover a robot's mouth? But that was funny. Help!
Right, like how do you muffle the sound? I mean, I guess because he does have like an auditory like slit or whatever in his thing, but I don't know. That's just kind of weird.
Yeah, but
It's kind of weird, but it is still like funny as hell. It was like one of the funniest things on there. It was like,
yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, I had to touch that part because that part was funny before we moved on. But yeah, so she goes on. She sees the map that now it's open, and she sees like the different, like she sees the galaxy. She didn't even see like the planets. She's seen the galaxy, how big, like how spread out it was, and then pop in Lord Balin's skull.
oh yeah, dude. Uh, Skull was guarding the map because at that point, oh man, what's her name? I can't now. I can't
Man,
remember her name.
I can't remember her name
Uh,
either, but I know you talk about. She ran to the
Magistrate.
ship. Yeah, the
Right.
magistrate.
She,
Yeah.
she was the magistrate. She moved or she went to the ship, so that she could start getting the engines and everything ready. So basically, start getting the hyperdrive engines running,
Not
so that
only
once the coordinates like were done, they could just zoom out of there.
Yeah, because then the coordinates would have been right on the ship, so they didn't have to worry about having the ball, so you can just destroy and just move on to what they were going to do.
Right. So then, on the ground, that's when we get Balin Skull versus Ahsoka.
I mean, man, that
Uh,
was
it was
the lead up to it was really good, and then the fight was really good. But the lead up was so dope, saying like, "Yo, you're just like your master," and all that other stuff. Well, he said you're just like your master, but then she was
yeah,
like,
he was like talking to her and telling her like, you know, basically that he knew like he knew Anakin, he knew the kind of Jedi
person,
that he was.
yeah, that he is now compared to what he was before. So he's
Right.
saying what
Well,
he
not
is
it's
now
not but
was the
what he was.
Anakin. Yeah, he was trying to say that's Anakin. She was like, no, it's not. That's not the Anakin that we know. Well, the
Right.
Anakin that we know now is not Anakin. That's definitely not Anakin.
Well, and even still, because Anakin's gone at this point, you know, he's long since dead. So,
Yeah.
but well, and Darth Vader too at this point. But either way, so like they're fighting. You know, at one, Ahsoka basically she gets the map, but she like tosses it aside basically, so that disrupts the like the coordinate sequence, right? So they
Mm-hmm.
don't they're not getting the coordinates, they're not getting the calculations on the coordinates and stuff. Um, and
Hold
so
on.
basically, it's like this. What's up?
So I was gonna say, like, speak like when she grabbed it, the part that kind of like threw me off is like it affected her.
Oh, well,
Uh,
there's a reason for that. So, and
Okay.
like I didn't realize it, but they kind of show it after. Uh, the stands that the map is on
Mm-hmm.
is like being lit, like literally like being burned, so that it
Okay.
can project or whatever. So
Okay.
that's why when she went to grab it, it burned her. I didn't see that originally either, and I didn't think of it. But then like later on, they do show it's actually when he goes to put it back on there, they do show it's like it looks like a little flame, more or less, like it ignites under it for him to put it back on.
Okay.
Um,
All right. That makes way more sense. Okay. So
right.
I wasn't thinking about that. I was like, yo, how is she getting burned? It's supposed to be something that's part of the dark side, and that's why it burned her. But okay, no, like,
Yeah.
that wouldn't have happened
And
either,
it was
even if it was.
right, exactly. Cause especially because she went to go grab. She's the one who went and picked it up. She's the one
Yeah.
that got it to begin with. So, um, so what was I saying? Oh, so then we get. I mean, we get the struggle between them, and it's basically who's going to get to the map first. They're fighting. Balin's kind of getting the upper hand on her a little bit, and especially when. Oh, before we get into that, so then it cuts back to like the clearing or into the woods or wherever where Sabine and Shinhati are fighting, and like Shinhati's kind of got Sabine on the ropes, but like Sabine's kind of holding her own, and she's definitely looking. She's looking a lot better fighting her than the very first time that she fought.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's kind of holding her own. She's getting pushed back a little bit, but like for the most part, she's sticking with it. She's like trying not to get hurt or anything like that. And she's given or not Sabine, but Shinhati, a little run for her money or whatever. But then of course, like Shinhati basically pulls a trick and like basically like ninja vanishes on her.
Yeah.
Throws a smoke bomb down and then just like dips out. Um, and then at that point, that's when like Shinhati shows up to where the map is and where the fight's going on with Balin Skull and Ahsoka. Ahsoka, I believe at this point is down, like she's down on her knees or whatever, kind of holding Balin back,
Yeah,
and then
while holding the
sees
ball.
Shinhati say what?
No, no, I was just saying, like, because she's holding at that point, she's holding the ball, burned hand, and she's protecting herself, trying to protect herself.
Right,
So she was really
and then
handicapped because she didn't fight to her full potential.
well, and
She
right.
was,
That's one thing that a lot of people were kind of bringing up is why didn't she use both of her lightsabers?
she
You
couldn't
know,
because she burned her hand.
well, even before that, like
Oh yeah,
she
no, she
only
should have
pulled
just
one
used
out.
it. Yeah, I agree. So she came out with just the one lightsaber. I think she was trying to. I think she was trying to. I don't want to say prove a point, but like trying to hide the fact that like she uses two lightsabers. Because a lot of people, I still think like a lot of people doesn't know that she uses two lightsabers. Like she's a dual wielder.
That could be it, but well, no, because they for sure.
Well, he
maybe
knows. Actually, I
maybe
think that
not.
no,
I was gonna say I would think that he knows, especially if he was around during the Clone Wars.
he wasn't
Um,
around during the Clone Wars. He even said he was.
right. So like he would have at least heard about Anakin's apprentice. So
Well,
um,
Padawan, not apprentice.
oh well, apprentice Padawan is the same thing. But
No, it's not. Let's not do that. We know the difference between an
well,
apprentice and a Padawan.
no, because there's when we're talking about Sith apprentice, then yes, it's apprentice, it's never Padawan. But usually Padawan and apprentice are usually kind of interchangeable. Because I've heard some Jedi call their Padawans my young apprentice or my young Padawan.
You know what? I take that back. You're right. Because Yoda definitely said that to Dooku.
Right, exactly.
In the Clone Wars too, he said it to Dooku.
Exactly. Say my name, bro.
Daddy.
But so yeah, so Ahsoka's holding off Balin, and then she sees Shin Hati like come up, like she sees her arrive, and at that point she thinks that Sabine has been killed, and she like she doesn't lose it, she like her focus falters, so she's just like she feels like her worst dreams or her worst reality has been realized and shit, and it's at that point that Balin, like, I don't remember what his like finishing blow was, because he didn't like slice her or anything like that. More or less, just kind of knocked her back.
Yeah, he knocked her back and she fell off the edge of the cliff.
Right.
But that didn't happen until Sabine showed up, though.
Did that happen when
she showed up? And she was telling Ahsoka was telling her to take the ball and run away, and she didn't.
Oh, right. You're right. No, it's because okay, I know what you're talking about. I remember now. See, it's been a couple of weeks since I've seen it. Yeah, so Sabine takes the map and she's gonna blast it and destroy it.
Ahsoka's telling her to do it, and she didn't want to.
Right.
She didn't want. Yeah.
She didn't want to do it, right? And then that's when Balin, overpowers her, knocks her off the cliff, and then is basically trying to appeal to Sabine. And he more or less does, because then, Sabine
surrenders herself, because he said, "I can take you."
Herself?
Yeah. So he's like, "I can take you to see your friend." And
right.
I'm not going to he said, "I'm not gonna do anything to you." Basically, he just took her as a prisoner without no harm. And then Shin Hati was about to kill her, and he was like, "No, You're not gonna do that. I promised her that I would take her to her friend, and I promised that I wouldn't do nothing to her." So she went freely.
That's true. That is true. So, for the most part, that's just about the end of the episode. I think the only thing that
it's not. No, it's not. The end of the episode is when we see that.
We
see
Anakin
okay. At the end of the episode, and he goes, "I thought I wouldn't run into you for a while." I said, "No," he said, "I didn't think I was going to run into you again." Oh, not yet. That's what he said. I didn't think I was going to run into you yet. And then the episode cuts off.
Right. So we get we get Ahsoka waking up, and she's like in the world between worlds, and then she's waking up to hearing snips, and like she wakes up and then looks, and it's Anakin, like regular Anakin, like end of his life Anakin, walking towards Ahsoka, and then says what you said, and then she's just like, "Anakin," and then like it cuts to black, and like I remember watching it, bro, and I literally like teared up, and I texted you. I was like, "Bro, Ahsoka."
Yeah, that was such a dope episode. That episode 4 was definitely a dope episode. but
Definitely
5,
right. Episode 4
5,
led into it, but
that was
5 is like 5 is by far the best. The best episode of Ahsoka so far
is episode 5.
is episode 5. Episode 5 is the best episode so far, and I would argue it's probably like the best Star Wars anything I've seen.
Hands down. Mando's great.
Right. Mando's
But-
great. And for a while it had one of my favorite episodes of anything Star Wars for a while. This hands down is the best episode anything Star Wars or anything live action in a very long time.
Since Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Argue with me. Because Revenge of the Sith was
Yeah,
definitely
I was gonna say because I would only because I would say there's things in Last Jedi that I liked quite a bit, but nothing like Last Jedi doesn't stack up to like Empire or Revenge of the Sith for me. So yeah, I would argue that so this episode 5 of Ahsoka, like hands down, beats out Last Jedi for me. Almost beats out Empire. Probably beats out Revenge of the Sith for me right now. Like, dude, you want to talk about like everything that us fans have been asking for, like to see Ahsoka live action, but not just Ahsoka, but like to see Ahsoka, see the Clone Wars, like the TV show made live action. We got to see Clone Wars Anakin, like Anakin in his Clone Wars attire, like leading freaking 501st, doing a battle, like in a battle, like seeing a young Ahsoka,
like when she was a Padawan, like she wasn't I think she was considered a youngling at that time. No, she was a Padawan.
No, she was a Padawan. Once she gets a master, she's a Padawan. So yeah.
So like, I mean, like young too, with the braid in the back.
Right, exactly. Like, and then you had like her first tiara.
Yep.
And then like, but it didn't just stop there. Then it moves forward through time. So like you see her towards the end of the Clone Wars during the siege on Mandalore. So like from like season 7, like the end of season 7, last couple episodes of season 7, you see that Ahsoka. So like she's got different she's got different robes on. She's got a different tiara, the one with like the like lights or whatever. Yep. She's got her newer lightsabers because those are the ones that Anakin gave her. They're the blue lightsabers. And like you see her fighting a Maul Mandalorian, and then she's talking to Anakin this entire time, and Anakin's just like giving her all kinds of like telling her, like just basically teaching her stuff, and just like he's basically taking her back to school the entire time, telling her like, the biggest message was like if you don't want to fight, then you'll die.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to fight,
learn who you are. You got to learn how to dissect yourself from being like a warrior or the light. I think no, he didn't say the light, but I know he said the warrior. And it was another one that he said. It was 3 of them. You sent the picture of it too. That's exactly what he said. So you got to learn how to figure out who you are in that moment, because if you don't, then you're gonna die.
Right, exactly. And like we get to the Siege of Mandalore, because obviously Anakin wasn't on the Siege of Mandalore. So he asks her, like, where are we? And she's like, Siege of Mandalore, like telling him about it. And then, cut to the end of that. And we get them back in the world between worlds. And then they're fighting. And they're fighting for their life. And it's like one of the best freaking lightsaber fights I've seen. Because it's...
Did you not notice my boy Rex? I just had to.
I noticed Rex. We got Rex. We got Rex in there. He talks to the two of them, Uh, who else do we get? I feel like there was another. There was another somebody that we saw. Like I said, I mentioned the Maul Mandalorian on the Siege of Mandalore. The very first, like the first scene from when she's like younger and still a Padawan. That's when we see Rex.
Damn, who was the other person we saw? I don't remember now.
I swear there was at least one more person we saw, but like either way. So we get to go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? But even before that too, like what I did like is that she stopped fighting because she's like, I don't want to fight no more. Like I don't want to do this.
Right.
And to me, like that part was important because I'm gonna say it was important, but we got to her iconic stance when she was a kid, when she crosses her arms and she does like this with a little lean to the side. I was like, and I said that to you, and I was like, look, she's doing her iconic stance when she was a kid. Every time she stands with her and her and Anakin, or her and Obi-Wan, she'll do that.
Right. Yeah, dude. Like, so this isn't have anything to do with the show necessarily, but do you know who the actress is that played her
When she was a kid?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
So the actress who played her in this scene, or in these scenes rather, when she's younger,
Mm-hmm.
that's the same actress that played Gamora from Infinity War.
Wow, I knew she looked familiar. I'm looking at her, I'm like, yo, she looks familiar.
Yeah, she did look she did look really familiar, and then I came across like an article that said who that was, and I was just like, no way, I knew I freaking recognized her. She's also she's in something else, something kind of new. But like I was just like, oh dude, like that's crazy. So like she's already kind of making a name for herself. That's pretty awesome. So but yeah, so we're now we get to the point where we're in the world between worlds. And Anakin and Ahsoka are fighting, and then it's Ahsoka as she is now, and Anakin as he was, right?
Oh well, Anakin in that transition into being Darth Vader.
Right, remember, exactly. So before he gets his limbs cut off. Say what?
Yeah, and I was gonna say because we both saw it, but we both pointed out something very important, and it was his eyes. Because remember, in the movie, his eyes were red. In Revenge of the Sith, they were red. No, they were red. Yeah, they were red because he already seen the dark side.
They were like the dark side, like poison or whatever was taking over his mind, or taking over his body basically, and so his eyes were going through that transition where they show like the yellow red like irises and stuff. Which you and I talked about this once before. Like about Revenge of the Sith, just because we like to revisit the final battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin quite often. But like, so there was a point in Revenge of the Sith when before the fight when Anakin's eyes are like changed, but as the movie goes on, they don't stay that way. That's because like at some point he might even be like questioning his role or his side or his place in the dark side, and isn't quite committed or hasn't fully committed to the dark side just yet.
Yeah,
but it's when it's like at the end of their final fight when he jumps in and Obi-Wan dismembers him and he falls. It's right as he falls basically that his eyes change completely. Like his eyes change completely to the dark side eyes, and it's when he's yelling at Obi-Wan, telling him that he hates him. That's when he's fully like that. It was like that's the fall from grace. It's the fall from the light side to the dark side. That his transformation is complete to the dark side at that point.
Oh, all right. So then I know why his eyes were that was it orange? It was all right. So. They had so then now you're saying that I think it hit me. Now correct me if I'm wrong. So then that fight between Ahsoka and Anakin, it is right before he turned. Like he said, right before he turned. So then that means that was literally right after he slaughtered all the younglings at the temple, because remember his
It's
eyes wasn't
basically
aren't.
that, or like right before he goes to like Mustafar for the first time to basically slaughter all of the um
Damn, I
the
know you're talking about.
separatists
Yeah,
before he slaughters all the separatists. It's basically him right before him and Obi-Wan fight, or at
yeah.
least him right before Obi-Wan ends the fight. So like that's like peak Anakin. It's like Anakin at his peak strength.
I'm surprised you
Um,
don't have that. I have the high ground.
oh, thank you. I think that was one that I was going to add to the
That
soundboard, but
I say that to you all the time. I have the high ground, Anakin.
you underestimate my power. But yeah, man. So like, it's it's at it's at this point that they are like struggling with one another, and um, Anakin he's pushing Ahsoka back quite a bit, and Ahsoka is struggling with him, and it's finally she kind of gets the upper hand on him, and it gets to the point where she's getting ready to make the killing blow, and then she stops, and then Anakin's just like, basically like, what are you doing? She's just like, I forget what she says 100%. Like, I would have to go back and rewatch it.
Same, because I
Again, I
think
was busy this weekend, otherwise I probably would have watched it like a couple of times this past weekend, right? But she basically is just like, I'm not going to strike you down. Like, I'm not going to do that. That's not who I am. You know, it's basically her saying like, I would show you mercy. Like, she would show her enemies mercy, and it's because like she's not a soldier. She's not a killer. She's a Jedi, or she's what a Jedi should be. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Um,
Hence
and
why
so
she
it's
has
at that
white
point
light.
that say what?
And then I was like, I was saying like, hence why she has the white lightsaber sabers.
Oh, right.
Like
That's the
she's
kind
like
of
the
symbolism behind it. But
yeah.
um, all
And then,
throughout this entire time, there's outside of the world between worlds, on planet Cetos, Hera has arrived. She's trying to figure out what happened to Ahsoka. She's trying to figure out what happened to Sabine. Her and her squad, they're like scanning the planet, trying to find her, trying to find some sign of life or whatever, because Fu Yang doesn't know what happened to them either. Um, and Hera's son, Jason, comes out, and he's standing near the water, standing on a cliff actually where Ahsoka fell, and he's just like concentrating, he's kind of focusing, and he's just like, "Don't you hear it, Mom?" And she's like, "Hear what?" Like, you don't hear that? And she's like, "No, all I hear is the waves. Like, what do you
none of
hear?"
it.
And he's just, I hear lightsabers. Like, I hear lightsabers clashing. And
Not even hold on. Before even that, like she was brushing them off, like as a most parents would. Like, all right, well, go play with Chopper. Like right now, like she's trying to say, like, we have something important to do. Completely forgetting that. And then we also find, like, I think this was established before, but I don't think so. Um, we finally learned. I think we finally learned that Jason is the son of Kanan Jarrus as well.
right,
So,
yeah,
which means he has, I was about to say light
he has
senses,
force abilities.
Jedi
So
senses. He's
right,
in
yeah,
tune
he's
with the
got the force
Force.
sensibilities. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I
Uh,
was trying to say. He's in tune with the Force. So then she finally realized, okay, maybe I should listen to you because you might know something that I don't know. Which we kind of
right.
figured that he had the Force within him anyway, because of you and I speculated of who he was or who the father
Mhm.
was.
Um,
But my
yeah,
bad.
I
Hey,
want
go on.
doesn't Harris say? Harris says that his father was a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
I want that she does say that. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
she said it to Huang.
she confirms it. Oh yeah, you're right. She did say it to Hu Yang. So she confirms it, and then so she's telling like her squad, like, keep sweeping the ocean, keep trying to pick something up, see whatever you can see, and they're not finding anything. They're getting pings, and they're getting constant communication from command, like, hey, you guys are out on a mission that was unsanctioned, like, either you come back or we're coming to get you. And basically at this point, they're at the point where they're like, we're coming to get you.
Mhm.
And so, like, it's close to that point when they're actually getting ready to like kind of give up, that Jason gets like a coordinate basically for her, and like tells them like, hey, go here, and it's like go as low as you can onto the water. And like, sure enough, we see Ahsoka like rising up out of the water, and then they save her from the ocean. Um, that's getting close to the end, but then like that's still not the end. So like they get to the point where like Ahsoka's telling Hera, kind of what's up, and she kind of has a plan. She kind of knows what she's gonna do, but she's not sure if it's gonna work. So it's close to that point when so Hu Yang flies the ship up to the pod of the Poggle. Is it Poggle? Purgle, sorry. Space whales, the hyperspace whales, right? And Ahsoka's communicating with them. And we get to, Ahsoka comes out, she's in her all white robe, all white, like tunic and stuff like that. And she's communicating with the Purgle and stuff. And so through this whole time, then, Hera and then her squadron are, basically trying to like hold the New Republic at bay from like coming to take them, more or less. Because they're just like, this isn't. We're not gonna, Ahsoka's not gonna come with you, and they're just basically like, well, one way or another, you guys have to come with us because like, you guys aren't out here, you guys aren't sanctioned to be out here, blah blah blah. And they're just like, well, give us a couple of minutes, and basically they're just buying time for Ahsoka to, communicate with the Purgle. They, they end up hopping inside one of the Purgles, like he just like opens his mouth and lets them, land the ship in, and then they just zoom out of there on their way, hopefully to the other galaxy. Oh, sure. What happened to your mic, bro? Sorry, folks, some technical difficulties. I still can't hear you, man. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? See, I can hear myself, and I think I can hear like I can hear everything going on over here. I don't think you can hear me, can you? Unfortunately, we don't have anybody watching live, so we're not entirely sure if it's just me that's got no sound, or if it's just Bonkai and Merc that has no sound.
All right, there we go. Now I can hear you.
There we go. See, I couldn't hear you at all, but I could hear all of I can hear all of my audio and everything. So I have no idea.
I hope we both weren't explaining at the same time. 'Cause I kind of explained the end when we couldn't hear you, so I was saying like what happened. I wonder if that's gonna happen in the stream too. I'm definitely watching this one. This one's definitely gonna be a must watch at the end.
I'm gonna have to skip ahead to this part just to see like what happened. But
If not, if we can, then we can just fix that part if we can. But yeah, like that's what happened. She was in the mouth of the space whale. So Hera was telling the New Republic commanders, like, if I were you, I would move. At first she wasn't going to listen until she saw the space whales just come out of nowhere, like at least like 6 of them, huge things. And then she moved the ships, and they took the hyper jump, and that was the last thing we saw. Oh wait, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. The last thing we see is Huang says to Ahsoka, "So where are we going?" She goes, "Anywhere." He goes, "Anywhere? Like, what is that supposed to mean?" He says, "Well," and then she goes, "Well, it's better than nowhere." And
right.
It's like, yeah, you're right. And then that's when the episode
Right.
goes off.
She's just basically like, yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that they're taking us where we want to go, but just have to have faith, basically. So
Yeah,
that
trust in the Force.
So that would be something like that's really interesting. Like, I wonder if. Oh no, I don't think that they would. I don't think with 3 episodes left that they would just like send them to another galaxy, and then it's basically they don't connect with Sabine and the other crew like at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
I was gonna say like it would be kind of cool like if this were like the end of the season, it would make sense that then in season 2 they're like on opposite ends of the new galaxy, right? And so she's basically got to kind of make her way to them.
Yeah.
And then she has some adventures along the way until she eventually gets to them. That would be cool, but like obviously we got 3 more episodes left of this, so I would imagine at some point they're going to kind of get back together type of deal, So
I agree.
What is this?
Yeah, so tomorrow, I believe that tomorrow 9:00 Eastern Standard Time is when we'll get episode 6.
Oh yeah, you want to do a watch party for that one again?
Oh hell yeah! In the wise words of my man LA Knight, yeah. I can't wait to watch, man.
Daddy.
But yeah, I'm loving the fact. I love this idea of the watch party, bro. That was a great idea. We also did the same thing for Into the Spider-Verse, but we're not going to talk about that this week. That's something we're going to talk about possibly next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the idea of the watch party. It makes it so much cooler because then like we had like a funny moment that I'm not going to explain. That we rewinded the episode like 3-4 times.
Right. Yeah. Just to get to like.
It was funnily, it was goofy, and it was really goofy, but it was funny because then we started making jokes about it. But yeah, like I'm loving the idea of the watch party. If you can, or if there's anybody out there would love to watch with us, just please let us know, and we'll definitely throw you in there. But yeah, so definitely looking forward to the watch party. We'll be doing that tomorrow. probably throughout the whole week, actually, because we definitely probably going to be watching this episode more than once.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, and another good thing is about
And
this
if
too is
not,
that
probably like rewatching 5 because I really want to rewatch 5 again.
yeah, same. But I'll say this though, what I do like about this show too is that each episode gets better. It's not like episode and then there's a dry one, then each episode gets better.
Each episode definitely does get better, and each one each one's going somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Where like during Secret Invasion, when I was watching that, I just kept. It always felt like, okay, where is this going?
Yeah.
Where is it going? And it was just like they're pulling it out and they're pulling it out. They're just like drawing it out. And it's just like, okay, but what is this all leading to? What's going to happen? Like, obviously, they kept saying, like, you know, oh, we're going to try and start World War III. We're going to try and start World War III. And then just keep drawing it out and drawing it out. And it's like, okay, but who's a Skrull and who's not? And like, who's this and who's that? And it's just like, they're not really showing much other than just kind of just like, oh yeah, by the way, this person's a Skrull, this person's a Skrull. And it's just like, okay, there's no suspense here. I don't know what's going on. Where is this leading to? But like, either way, so like, yeah, each episode of Ahsoka has just been like one after the other has just been like better. Like episode 1, like I really liked it, but it was honestly of the 5 episodes thus far, I think it was like the weaker one. Whereas episode 2 got a little bit like it built upon episode 1 and it got better, and then episode 3, you know, built a little bit upon episode 2 and got better. Episode 4, same thing, and then episode 5, like bam, again, probably the best Star Wars that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping that 6 like continues to build upon like what happened in 5, and then makes it even better. So just can't wait.
Yeah, great. It's definitely been a great storytell for Ahsoka.
But okay, let's you know get off of Ahsoka. Let's get off of Ahsoka for now. We're done. We're done with the spoilers for Ahsoka, guys. We're gonna go into our top 5 anime list. So these are obviously just our opinions. We each have 4 of our own and then 1 that we kind of share. So that'll be that. Well, it's my number 1. I don't know where it ranks on his, just because he didn't quite rank them. He just has a top 5 list, but it'll be the very last one. So we're gonna go ahead and start with number 5. And give me 1 second here to just switch screens. Audio still okay so far?
Yeah, you're good. It's like a little, like you're lagging like a little bit, but you're fine.
Okay.
Like it starts and then it goes away.
It's been happening a little bit today. I think it happened a little bit on the Monday morning stream. So, by the way, guys, you didn't catch it this morning.
Can show me a soda.
Right. In case you didn't catch it this morning, I'm going to be kind of starting something new on Monday mornings. At least for the time being, I'm going to be doing something called Monday Morning Toy Show. Monday Morning Toy Show, where I'll be talking all kinds of like toy news. I'll be doing some unboxing and reviewing of toys, and maybe just playing with some stuff. Maybe even try to show off my displays and stuff once I kind of get them in order and everything. But yeah, join me again next Monday. But for now, let's go ahead and get started with our number 5 pick, and it's actually your number 5 pick for top 5 anime.
Oh, we're doing mine first?
Yeah, you're doing yours first because that's the order I put it in.
Okay. All right. So yeah, number 5. If I had to like actually list it, this would probably be like either number 1 or number 2. Is One Piece. So the downfall to One Piece is that it's a lot of episodes. It's literally over 1,000 episodes, which is the reason why a lot of people do not want to watch it. And then also, if you start out from the beginning, it's like I forgot the year it came out, but when you first watch it, it feels kiddie-ish. So like if you look at it like, I don't want to watch this, it's like a kids TV episode, a kids TV show. But once you get past like the first I'm gonna say like 20 episodes, but even with the first 20 episodes, there's good action. Um, it's a really really good anime. It's definitely the like one of the top shonen animes out there. Um, and to me, it's part of like the quote unquote big three of anime, which would be like One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, and Naruto. So yeah, so starting that off, that's number five.
I'm just gonna stop you right there. So the top three shonen, or the big three shonen as they were once called, was actually Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece, with
Okay.
Dragon Ball Z being the granddaddy anime, the granddaddy shonen anime.
Got
So
me.
that's
You know,
basically like
I was thinking
like
Bleach.
the one that kind of like started it all for the big three. You know?
Yeah, I was thinking Bleach, but I was like, I don't know if Bleach was like the top three. I know for sure it was top four.
Oh
But
yeah,
now
no,
I
it
know
was
that they
definitely
said
like,
top.
definitely like what they used to call the big three was those three: was Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece, because they were like the most popular shonens at their time. They were
Wow.
sort of like leading the way for a lot of newer stuff kind of coming up.
Mm-hmm. Now, don't get me
But
wrong. I definitely love Bleach too. Bleach is great, but to me, it's not like in my top five. But yeah.
so one thing I want to say about One Piece is like I've never quite dove into it. Um, I was
I
kind
never
of one of
tried.
those people where you were saying where like I kind of watched it, but it was a little too cartoony for me. It was a little too like annoying, so I was just like, this is kind of whatever. I'm not going to watch this. But in all honesty, I've watched the live action version on Netflix now, and it's made me want to go back and start watching One Piece, like start One Piece. So like, I'm probably definitely going to be giving this like a shot, and but I am going to be using the One Pace. I think I'm going to be doing the One Pace like website, because I don't know if I want to necessarily sit through over 1,000 episodes of One Piece. I kind of want to get these quote unquote Cliff Notes version of it. So I think I'll probably be going through that. But watching the live action definitely made me want to go back and actually watch the anime. So,
Oh,
so
now
yeah.
before you skip to the next one, I want to skip before you move on to the next one. The reason why I really started watching this one was one because of my cousin. He would talk to me about One Piece, but I never sit there and watch it. But
Mhm.
recently is one of our brothers. He's our third amigo, or what we call ourselves, the three musketeers. He always pushed it on me to like, yo, like you should definitely watch One Piece. It's probably like one of the better animes out. Like no, one of the better, but he says probably like one of the best animes out there. Um, it's like one of the most popular. And he even said it. He was like, once you get past like the first couple episodes, um, I guarantee you're really gonna love this show. And then as soon as we started talking, like as soon as I told him I started watching it, we started playing Pirate Warriors 4. And then that's when it really, really caught my attention how great it was. So like when we started, he's like, I can tell you right now, I know who your favorite character is gonna be, or your favorite characters is gonna be. He said, and then he said it right off the bat. He said, starting off, it's gonna be Zoro. And I was like, yep, you're right. Zoro is my favorite character. And the reason why is because he has the swords. He's a swordsman. Well, I'm gonna start off. He's a swordsman. He uses three swords at that, and he's a complete dog. Second in command. So like the funny thing is like him and I. Well, at first it's like you and I, but then like once you saw like not play like it's just like DC. Like once you stop playing and stuff, it was like him and I. So him and I became like a real like Batman. It wasn't like Batman and Robin. It was more like Batman and Nightwing, which is funny because that's how we ended up meeting. At that time when I was playing, it's like our league disbanded. He was Batman, and I was actually Robin. Um, so he was like, "Yeah, like I'm pushing this on." So like he always reminds me of like Luffy because he's like, I told him you can go lead the stuff. I'm second in command, which then makes me Zoro. So then after that, then he said, "I know your next favorite character," because like, he started playing it out like as soon as I saw it. He said, "Your next favorite character is going to be Ace." And then Ace was my favorite character. It's so dope. One of the reasons why is because I like fire. I like the fire aspect of him. Same thing with Marco. I love the fire aspect of him as well. Which you haven't seen Marco yet, but when you see Marco, I guarantee you're gonna like Marco too. Um, Marco has one of the one of the coolest devil fruits. and it's a Logia type. But like, I'm not gonna spoil anything else for you. But I ended
Okay.
up not liking Ace, and I'm not gonna tell you why, but you probably know why because you probably heard us talk about it, or you just probably seen somebody say something about it. But
It's
it
because
really
he
hurt.
dies.
Yeah, bro, that shit hurt my fucking feelings, bro. He went out like a G, but I didn't like the way he went out. I really was hoping he was gonna last longer, but I'm kind of happy they did it that way though because it introduced the third brother because there's three of them. Um,
Sabo.
yeah, all right. So I guess I don't have to really hold back. Yeah, so it introduces
I
Sabo and then
know some of this only because like I watch like death battles and I've watched other like breakdowns of some of these characters. So like
okay,
I get some of them. Like I know a little bit of backstory behind them. That's kind of how I end up with some anime knowledge in general, especially when it comes to One Piece. It's like through third party stuff, but like in general, like no, I don't know them, but I know of them. So
okay, all right. So then yeah. So like I like Sabo too. Sabo's pretty dope. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. So I just want to say like the introduction to this one was because of our third brother who didn't want to join yet. He said he's not ready yet. So um shout out to Wolf. Wolf's Anarchy, and I think that'll be his name. But shout out to Wolf for this.
come on, Wolf, just
頑張れ頑張れ
come on, man. So you gotta come this, bro. But
All right, so let's go right into
but
number
all right.
four.
So no. Well, so I'm gonna do my number 5 now.
Oh, you're the number. Oh, so we're going back and forth. Cool.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
like
do
that.
my number 5. So your number 5 was One Piece. My number 5 is Fairy Tail. I was kind of going back and forth on this between Fairy Tail and Naruto. But my number 5 is Fairy Tail. The reason I say that is because I feel like I invested more into Fairy Tail than I did Naruto. I feel like I got a little bit more out of Fairy Tail than I did Naruto. Like honestly, like I don't know what it is that I love so much about it. I feel like I kind of like their magic system a little bit. You know, the way that each person, like each wizard or whatever, how they use their magic. They've all got different kinds of magic. You got stuff like key magic. You've got like the requip magic. You've got Natsu's dragon magic. You've got Gray's like ice magic. All that kind of stuff. So like, and each character, like they each have like different backstories. They've each got different like things that bring them together. Things that like each person has a different connection, but all of them have a connection with one another because they are in a wizard guild called Fairy Tail. Honestly, this is one of those animes. I think I'm pretty sure it's considered a shonen. I would imagine it is because it does seem more geared towards younger males, especially. But so it's like it fully takes advantage of that anime trope of, you know, the power of friendship is more powerful than evil, is more powerful than this magic and that magic or whatever. And so many people in this anime like die, come back, or you think that they're dead, but they're really not. They just got hurt a little bit. You know, the power of friendship like eventually like makes Natsu override his like programming towards the end. So like, you know, he doesn't end up being like the worst demon to ever be on the face of the earth or whatever. He's, you know, he ends up being like the biggest force for good and everything like that. My favorite character on this show though is Gajeel. Gajeel is like he has my personality. He's a metalhead for one, quite literally because he uses metal dragon magic, which is pretty sick. His like ultimate forms are freaking dope. I just like the show all around in general. It's fun. It's funny. You know, it's a little kiddie, yes, but at the same time, like I don't know, I really fell in love with it. I have to, you know, kind of give props to my younger cousin. I'll say his screen handle, Broken Cartoons. He really loved this anime. He really was the one that kind of introduced it to me. And I so for that reason I kind of have like a connection with him through that. I remember this was like one of the animes that I actually like. Once I finally caught up, I was just like, oh, okay, now I have to like watch it brand new as it comes out. So, yeah, I really liked it, Fairy Tale, just in general. Um, do you have anything to say about Fairy Tale at all, bro?
Uh, so I've never really. Okay, I'm gonna say I never really watched it. I definitely watched Fairy Tale. I watched maybe like 3, 4 episodes, but I didn't
Hmm.
watch. I didn't go far into it. It's something I definitely am going to actually watch. I'm not into like. All right, so the reason why I didn't really get into it, and it's the same reason why I couldn't get into Black Clover. I'm not like. I don't like magic. I'm not the magic kind of guy. I'm more of the, and this is which makes it funny because I don't know how I ended up even. Well, I know why because somebody was talking about it, and then I see he's a samurai. Um, I don't like. I like animes that have ninjas and samurais. That's the kind of anime I like. So that's why like I'll sit there and I'll watch like Kenshin, uh,
Right.
Akame the Kill, not Akame the Kill. It's the Akame Good. That's Akame Good Kill.
Okay.
Kill the Kill. Excuse me. Um, there's another one that I'm completely missing. I just started watching Peacemaker. Yeah, Samurai Champloo. Um, Samurai 7. But yes, like that's the kind of stuff. But I'm definitely going to give this. And Sword Art Online, which is absolutely hilarious because it does do with video games and swords. Um, but yeah, like I'm definitely going to end up watching Fairy Tale. I just needed the time to watch it and then
Yeah,
make sure I get into it.
it's kind of long, and honestly, like I said, it's not like the best anime, and a lot of people kind of shit on it. At least from what I've seen, there's quite a bit of people that kind of shit on it. But all in all, like it's fun. I liked it quite a bit. There's some stuff about it that like is it kind of like does it make you roll your eyes and go
What a joke.
yes, but like at the same time, like it's just overall it's just kind of fun. So I like it. If you ever have time to check it out, check it out. If not, it's not like the biggest deal. It's again, it's not like a life changing anime. There is a lot of feels in it, and like it didn't hit me until like I don't know, it might have been like the second or third season where I was just like, oh man, it actually started hitting me. But like, yeah. Um, but then after a while, all those tears kind of like dry up because you're just like, oh, this isn't gonna last type of shit. So, but yeah. All right, man. Let's go ahead and move on to our number 4, or your number 4, rather.
So of course, and if you don't like, all right, before I even start, this picture is the if you know, you know. All right, number 4 to me is Naruto. Naruto, like I liked all of them. I even like Boruto. Like Boruto is pretty dope too. Naruto Shippuden, and Boruto. So like I guess you want to call it the generations of it. Um, my cousin is the one who definitely put me onto this. This is the first anime that I've like actually like watched outside of Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon. I mean, if you watch Toonami, you know Sailor Moon. Um, well, let me rephrase that. If you watch the original Toonami, then you know Sailor Moon. Um, so starting out, my favorite character in Naruto was Kakashi, but then I learned about one of the most dopest characters in there, which was actually going to be my name, and then I had to change. I changed it at the last moment. I changed my name like 3 times. So I'm really not stuck on Bankai Merc. I'm really leaning towards that guy. And if you don't know who that is Minato, the fourth Hokage. He is
Lord
my favorite.
Fourth.
Yes, Lord Fourth. That was going to be my name, Lord Fourth Merc. I was really on to doing that. It's still there. Like I'm really thinking about that, Lord Fourth Merc or Sniper King Merc.
Or it could
But
just be. Oh man.
It didn't work.
Daddy.
That was
There it is.
Daddy Merc. But yeah, so this one was like a really like one of the dopest animes that I've seen. And it literally falls into what I like, ninjas. Um, and I love the art. I love the story. Um, I love how how he like the way they moved and the action. The action is pretty dope, and it just felt like, damn, like even the run. So the funny thing is, you don't notice this until you watch Naruto. Little kids do this run a lot. I don't know if you ever noticed that. Little kids definitely do that. So I'm like, yo, that's crazy. I never thought about that. But man, I it's like this is definitely like probably if I had to choose, it'd be like number 3 for me. Love this anime. I know you got something to say about it as well.
Yeah, man, it's honestly, aside from Dragon Ball Z, this is one of the first animes that I've pretty much watched almost every single episode of. I fell off a little bit towards the middle of Shippuden, and I've been kicking myself in the ass saying like I'm gonna go back and rewatch all of it. But like the first series, 100% watched every single episode, all the filler, everything. I freaking cried when the third Hokage died. Like my favorite character. My favorite character was always Shikamaru, and because I love shadow manipulation jutsu, or shadow possession jutsu rather. Like like everything to do with the shadows, that was like so sick. And on top of that, he always kind of had the same, like a similar personality to me, at least when I was younger, where it's just like, dude, I don't want to do this. I just want to freaking just like chill. I just want to be lazy all day. But no, I've always got to, I've got work to do. I've got this, I've got that. Even to some degree now, I still have a little bit of, Shikamaru's personality in me, So, I really loved the show quite a bit. It didn't end up on my list only because, like I said, I felt like I got more out of Fairy Tail than I did this show. But again, it was so close. I like had it on my list at first. It's honestly, it's like one of the dopest. Has some of the the dopest fight scenes ever. Not, and even so much so as like things that I write, I don't base them on this, but I think of scenes from Naruto where I'm just like, how is this power scaling going to look? Would this fight look? And I really like go back to Naruto, even like some of the like powers or things like that. I'm just like thinking of like, oh, there was a character like this in Naruto, they fought like this, or like this person's personality was like this, because almost every character in Naruto, like each person had their own personality, and they were all like pretty well like fleshed out for the most part. And the close second like character was definitely
Neji.
Okay, hold on. It was Neji, but like now I'm starting to think about it because Jiraiya was probably my most favorite character. And when Jiraiya died, I cried. So like, yeah.
Same. I love Privy Sage.
So, I mean, so much so you called me in the other day. But yeah, dude, like I really love Naruto, and again, it was so close on my list for me, but like, but yeah, I really dig this, this show a lot, and I'm hell bent on getting back into it, or like getting back into watching it again, just to like get caught up so that I can potentially go into Boruto. So, but yeah, that's all I've got to say about Naruto. You got anything else?
So funny thing about Naruto, or I should say Boruto, or I should say just anime period. Boruto is the only show where I like the main character. All the other shows.
Oh, you actually like Boruto?
Yeah, Boruto is my favorite. Like hands down, Boruto is my favorite character. Not outside of that, majority of the other shows, the main character is not my favorite character. Like Dragon Ball Z, my favorite character, or Dragon
Right.
Ball, I should say, like my favorite character is Vegeta.
Same.
Um,
Yeah.
One Piece main character is Luffy. My favorite character is Zoro. Uh, I'm trying to think. In Bleach, my favorite character is not Ichigo. My favorite character is actually damn. Now it's gonna bother me, and I don't remember his name. But he runs the shop. I gotta look it up again because I hate when I don't know his damn name, and I know it too. It's just on the tip of my tongue, and it's gonna.
It's not. No, it doesn't start with a K.
Kisuke Urahara. That's my favorite character.
Yudhara. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So like I've never been like the main character lover, which is absolutely hilarious. But it's just funny because I was talking to Wolf recently because I saw you put the picture for our Three Musketeers chat on our Discord, and
Yeah.
it's Vegeta, Broly, and Goku, right?
Right.
So I was like, yeah. So this is funny. I guess I'm basing because we played Dragon Ball Z Universe 2 as well, and we base our characters off like certain Saiyans. Wolf is like Broly, you're like Vegeta, and at first I said Gohan, so I was like, hey, you know what? This makes sense because I kind of base my characters off of Goku without really realizing that I base my character off of Goku. I use Spirit Bomb a lot. I use the Spirit Bomb. That's like literally my favorite move. I've been
Exactly.
busting my ass to get that move. I use Warp Kamehameha, Goku. He's the only one who does that. And well, now I use the final Kamehameha and the Big Bang times 100, which is the mix of the two, but it's still Goku. And then majority like my clothes that I was wearing before, I said, you know what, I'm gonna make mine like a Saiyan and it look like, just go off like have like the same armor and stuff. I was gonna look like Goku. So like anytime we play, he was Vegeta and I was Goku. It was just him and I. So it was funny that actually ended up being our picture, and that's what happened. So
Nah,
yeah.
I kind of figured that. I was just like, because at first, like, I was like trying to think. I was like, of the Saiyans, who's like the big three Saiyans? And I was like, okay, obviously Goku, Vegeta, and then I was like Gohan. But I was like, no, because now between the three of them, they have their own friendship, their own circle. Before it was just Goku and Vegeta. Now because of Dragon Ball Super Broly's in their little circle,
Yeah.
because they're helping to train him, and like, he's uber powerful just like they are and shit. And I feel like Gohan kind of stands on his own type of shit now, so
Which he does. And he doesn't really fall with like Goku and Vegeta. He falls with like Piccolo.
right, exactly. Piccolo raised him, so
Yeah.
but yeah. All right, so let's move on to my number 4 now. Number 4, and this isn't an anime show. This is an anime, like a movie. This is Akira. My favorite, definitely like one of my top favorite animes of all time, and one of my top favorite anime movies of all time. Akira is one of those movies I saw as a young kid, not really knowing what it was, and not really knowing what it was, not really understanding what it was, but knowing that I liked the visuals enough to remember it if I saw it again. It's an insane anime. It's one of the it's like one of those animes that like when it hit, at least I don't know. I don't know how it hit at the time, but I feel like when it hit America, it like took America by storm. It's just like, oh, well, like, what is this? It's I don't see anything very much like it nowadays. Definitely not any sort of anime shows for the most part. There are some movies here and there, but like, I don't know. It's like takes all the boxes for me. It's like post-apocalyptic. It's like cyberpunk. It's got humans with powers. It's got huge, grotesque like body horror. It's got some sort of superhero elements, at least with Tetsuo, at first, until he becomes a little bit of a villain. It's got motorcycles in it. It's got like gangs and stuff. It's got something for. I don't want to say something for everyone, but it's got some of everything. You know what I mean? And it's just all kind of thrown together and made into this like really awesome like movie. And like I've never gotten a chance to read the manga, but I heard that the manga goes even more insane than the movie did. Um, but like the movie goes so hard and it goes so insane, and like I just love it. I just love it so much. Every now and then I'll just like just just scroll for it and try to find it and just like watch it. Which, by the way, I found out where you can watch it, Bankai. It's uh it's on Funimation, so you can watch it on Funimation.
Okay, I definitely think I'm gonna take a look at that.
Oh yeah, you will because I added it to your queue.
Oh, even better. I appreciate you for that.
But it's again to me it's so good. The visuals in it are insane. It like it's not anywhere on par with like newer anime because newer anime kind of goes way over the top and like has really bright visuals and uh especially for nowadays like anime in general tends to they have a different style altogether. Like in terms of like the late 80s early 90s anime style, this like to me is what really hit. And like especially like the visuals in it for back in the day were insane, and I feel like it's almost on par with like anything that comes out nowadays. So like again, Akira, I absolutely love it. I may mess around and freaking watch it again tonight just because. I know you don't have anything to say about it because you haven't seen this, correct?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. At first, it looked familiar, but no, I've never seen it.
So the music. You've seen the music video for Kanye West's "Stronger," right?
Yeah.
He based the music video on this anime.
Ah, didn't know that.
Yeah. I remember when that music video came out and I saw it, I was just like, Akira? But yeah, that's all I've got to say about Akira. Like, I absolutely love it. And that's why it's on my top five. But let's keep it moving. Let's keep it cruising. Let's go on to your number 3, sir.
All right. So number 3, this is something that I was put onto by one of my I won't say one of my cousins. I consider him a cousin as well, but it's my cousin's friend, and he came to the house. He came to our house. It was like, "Yo, I have a dope animated for you to watch. It's called World Trigger." I said, "What the hell is that?" He's like, "Just watch it. I guarantee you'll like it." So I was trying to figure out how to explain this anime. So the best way I can explain it, it's kind of a mix of Sword Art Online, which is actually going to be on my list, but I really had to choose between this and something else, and I chose the something else. But I should have put Sword Art up there because Sword Art is like one of the dopest animes that I've seen too. But so it's like this and Attack on Titan. So kid right here, you see, he's actually quote unquote neighbor, which is like it's like an alien race that like jumps through this portal and they come to our planet and I guess they're trying to take it over. So we found out that he's a neighbor as well. So what happens is he learns how to use he knew how to use his powers, but then he went to a school because they recruited him because how good of a fighter he was and how he can use like the I forgot the system, but it was like the system that they had. So the system that they had, they were able to fight the neighbors with like some kind of armor, and you learn about your armor and like how do you use it correctly. So I didn't put the other character up there because the other character well, that one right there, his name is Yuma. He's the main character, but there's another one where he's learning how to become a strategic / better fighter. But they have, I forgot what it was, but they have something where they use it and like I said, they transform into some kind of like the armor. Like what he has on that's his armor. His is black compared to like what you normally see. Normally you'll see like they have white armors. But yeah, if you ever get a chance, last time I saw it was on Hulu. I haven't looked up there to see if it's still up. Actually, no, I did. I looked recently; it's not there anymore. So I'm still trying to find it, but I know there's definitely some like anime sites that you can watch for free. It will be up there. So if you ever get a chance, definitely give it a shot and watch it. It's really good.
Yeah, man. When you told me about this, I was definitely interested in giving it a watch. Especially kind of like the style of this. Um, it harkens back a little bit to like sort of 70s, 80s anime to me.
Hmm.
I think I even told you that some of the like the way that some of the characters look, they reminded me of like Cyborg 009
Yep.
a little bit. Um, so yeah, I definitely am interested in seeing this. I've never seen it, so I don't have anything to attribute to it. But like, I would definitely be interested to see what this is all about.
Actually, it kind of, you know what else it reminds, you know what it really reminds me of? It reminds me of PSO2, like how we were playing it.
Oh, yeah, a
It
little bit.
it yeah, it literally reminds me of PSO2 because like when you watch it, you'll understand why I said that too.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to check it out if I can ever find it out. I definitely will check it out. But oops, I never changed this. There we go. Change the banner to number three because we are on number three, right?
Yeah, we're on number three.
Okay, sick. So I'll move on from World Trigger at number three to my number three, which is
Daddy?
hold on a second. Come on, here we go.
That's premeditated.
Daddy?
So oh,
Yeah,
you gave me a
button.
solo.
Yeah. Yeah, I was giving you the solo, but I didn't leave it up there long enough because I didn't expect you to hit the daddy.
So yeah, this is my number three pick. I fucking love this anime, and I couldn't tell you why I love it so much,
Daddy?
but I freaking love it, dude. Like, this is Darling in the Franxx, if you don't know. Now, obviously, this is a little suggestive. I thought it was funny. That's the only reason why I took this picture. Otherwise, it would have been a title picture like some of the rest of mine have been. I saw this and was just like, Bonkai's gonna laugh at this. so yeah, I went ahead and got this. But Darling in the Franxx is so good. Like, the animation style is really great. I absolutely love it so much. It's basically a mecha. It's like a post-apocalyptic mecha anime, right? So, but at the same time, it's also kind of a coming-of-age tale. Basically, the whole basis around this anime is that there are no adults in the world. There are no adults in the world. There's only children, and basically, the children are used to pilot these mechas called Franks, and they pilot these mechas in order to battle Klaxosaurs, which are just basically these monsters that seem to keep coming from below the surface of the earth. Nobody really knows why at first, and then obviously there's a mystery involved, and so we kind of get the basis for like why these Klaxosaurs exist and why they keep attacking Earth and keep trying to attack these citadels where the kids live. We find out that the kids aren't the only sort of humans. We find out that there are adults, and they live in their own separate like city within the citadels, separated from the children. But yeah, like the children are, they're used to pilot these Franks. The main character, whose name is Hiro, he doesn't have anybody to pilot a Franks with, mainly because his original partner, he couldn't pilot the Franks with her, because they weren't compatible for some reason. And then comes in my anime waifu, Zero Two. My old roommate will tell you how much I love Zero Two because I used to say shit about Zero Two all the time. But like she comes in, she's different from all the children. She takes to piloting a Frank very naturally, very easily. She also basically almost kills each one of her like co-pilots in the Franks. So she can never find a partner to pilot the Franks with her. So much so that she has even gone to pilot herself, and then the Franks at that point like morph into like a feral sort of form. But then she finds Hero, and then she starts trying to pilot the Franks with Hero. To which point they, end up piloting the Franks together, and then again the mystery ensues. They kind of end up learning more about what the Franks are, what the Klaxosaurs are, who Zero Two really is, and like what all of this ends up meaning. In the end of it, like it becomes such a beautiful story for just an analogy for growing up and what it means to be a child, and what it means to be a teenager, kind of going through puberty, and then eventually becoming an adult. So it's insane. Like I love the visuals on this anime so much. Again, Zero Two is my waifu, my anime waifu. She's I love her character just in general. And no, it's not just because of the way she looks. It's mainly because of her attitude, which probably says a little bit more about me and the kind of women that I'm into than I care to admit. But like again, like I absolutely love this anime so much, and I've watched it like once a year since it came out. So, have you ever seen Darling in the Franxx?
I never heard of it until just now.
No, you never heard of it?
Mm-mm.
I have to put you on, bro. I think it's on Funimation. So, I like it quite a bit. I don't know if you would necessarily like it. If you like mecha anime, you might, but it's not just about the mechas. It's like I said, it's about a little bit more than that. And there's some intrigue, there's some mystery, as well as like an overall kind of overarching tone to it, as well as like a narrative or message, I guess you could say. But I love it. If you ever want to give it a shot, let me know, and we could talk it up, dude. Maybe even try to do a watch party with it. We'll see. But
That would be
yeah.
dope. Yeah, that would definitely be pretty dope if we can do that.
Yeah, man. But all right, let's keep it rolling here because we creep past our hour and a half, but I think we can probably knock these other two out in a little bit of quick time. So get to your number two.
Number two again. Well, I don't know if he's considered the main character, but number two, it's Hunter x Hunter, or some people call it Hunter x Hunter. The reason why I really love this anime is because of Killua. Killua is the shit. Like he's such a dope character. I like the fact that he uses lightning and he's fast as hell. But Gon, demon, especially when he turns into grown up Gon, like we did at the I think it was at the end, and he fucked that guy up. But great. It's a great another one with good storytelling. And the fighting in this anime, one of the best. It's definitely one of the best animes out there. If you ever get a chance, I know it's on Netflix. Definitely, it's a must watch. If you were trying to tell somebody to watch an anime that's not Naruto, One Piece, or Bleach, or Dragon Ball Z, I'm putting people into Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, I'm keeping this one short.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I've never watched it. I've watched a couple episodes of it, but much the same as like One Piece, where I've caught bits and pieces of like these characters in other things. I agree. Killua is a freaking beast. Like he's so fast, and his power set is pretty insane. And the fact that he was raised from birth to be a killer is pretty sick. So
Yeah.
Definitely one that I've kind of had some sort of interest in, but never quite like followed through with watching it. But yeah. All right, now let's move on to my number 2, and it's going to surprise some of you, especially with the attire that I've got on right now. You would think that this is my number 1, but it's in fact my number 2. My number 2 is My Hero Academia. I don't know what I can say about this show other than like I absolutely love it. I know that a lot of people kind of hate on it because they don't necessarily like some of the directions that it's been taking, especially in the manga. Some of the like animation in the anime itself hasn't been the best. It was kind of inconsistent with other shows and with previous seasons even. But like just in general, like I'm the same as you where I don't typically like the main character necessarily. The main character is not always my favorite character, but in this case, the main character is my favorite. Like I love Deku. I love his arc. I love the fact that he started off as a person without power, but was always learning and adapting and doing like trying to up his knowledge in order to like maybe hopefully close the gap between where he was versus where he wanted to be. And the fact that he got recognized by the world's number 1 hero and given his power in order to become a hero in his own right, like really I don't know, spoke to me or really like stood out to me. I really absolutely loved it. The fact that his power, like he started off as like not being able to use his power very well, and even to this day, like he still can't necessarily use it to its full extent. But with the power upgrades and the power ups that he's been getting as of late, like it's put him on par, even above where certain what do you call it? Where certain like pro heroes were. But like it's so much so to the fact that like I buy and collect a lot of My Hero merch. I mean, you can see I've got a UA hat. It's got All Might there. I've got Overhaul right here that I'm wearing right now. You probably saw this in earlier in the Monday morning toy show. Like my customized Deku here. I freaking love this thing, as well as my All Might. Like All Might is for sure like one of my favorite pro heroes. If not my most favorite, because what he represents, he's actually like a pastiche of Superman, but he's sort of like a subversion of like what Superman is to some degree, whereas like where like in the comic book Superman becomes the mild-mannered Clark Kent in order to hide his identity. All Might literally turns into a completely different human being when he's not in his superhero form. And so that to me was like really funny. So nobody ever knew who he was. And on top of that, like this guy wasn't born with the power. He wasn't born with like all these immense abilities and stuff like that. This was something that he earned, something that was passed down to him in order to become the world's greatest hero. And like that to me was just awesome. Again, I have so much freaking My Hero merch. It's like by far like one of my favorite animes of all time. I know a lot of people give me shit for liking Deku, but again, like I love Deku so much. He's like one of my favorite anime characters. But of the other characters, I think Tokoyami's probably a close favorite of mine. Bakugo now is like really, really cool. He was always cool, but he's like even more cool now because he's finally like kind of realized who he is and who he should be. The kind of hero he should be, as well as the kind of person that he should be. But yeah. You want to add anything into the to My Hero talk?
So My Hero. All right. So I don't like My Hero. It's not something I watch. I tried. I gave it up to season 3, I think it was that I went to, and I was like, all right, I'm still not feeling this. So I don't want people to think like I didn't give it a shot. The reason I don't know, it's just it's too slow for me, and it's still too slow. Like they try to like make it entertaining, but it's not entertaining enough for me. But I do love the idea of My Hero because it literally reminds me of a video, like for instance, DC Universe Online. You make your own character, or for instance, you're your own character. Some of them come from like a bloodline of pastors. I think like Tokiyama. Tokiyama's father is the number 2 hero behind All Might.
Todoroki, you're talking about Todoroki.
Yeah, Todoroki. Excuse me. Yes.
And it's not All Might. It's Endeavor, the fire hero Endeavor.
No, I said he's number 2 behind All Might.
Oh yeah. You're right.
So that's the one thing I do love about it is because like it shows that like, for instance, Deku, he got his powers. He had to eat a piece of All Might's hair, which is absolutely disgusting. But I love that. Like I said, I love the excuse me. I love the concept of it. Like it's a school of heroes, and you're learning how to be a hero, and everybody is their own hero. So that's something I thought was pretty cool. Like I love that idea. Outside of that, I couldn't get into it.
I think the thing that I was really drawn to it when I first started watching it is it reminds me of Sky High. You remember that movie Sky High?
Movie, Disney? Yeah.
It's school kids with powers learning to become superheroes. They take all these classes that have to do with becoming a superhero. They get to pick their names, they show off their powers, all that kind of stuff. So like it's like that, but stretched out in anime form with like much more of a story to it. So but yeah, like I think that was what initially drew me to it. But again, like I absolutely love it, so much so that like if you couldn't tell, I modeled my name after both Deku and All Might. And that's also literally my entrance, which is
And yell this from the depths of your heart!
So yeah, surprising that it's not my number 1, but that's because both of our number 1s, or at least the number 1 that we share, is this anime right here. Full Metal Alchemist.
All right, so
Full Metal Alchemist.
Short story on mine. Well, very short story on mine. I'd never watched the original. I watched Brotherhood, so I know that the sins are different in Full Metal Alchemist compared to Brotherhood.
Basically, the story behind Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is that the manga was still being written while Full Metal Alchemist, the anime, was being made. And so at some point they just, split off because the manga was taking longer than the anime had to animate and actually make, new episodes for. So they kind of, they changed quite a bit. They, they rewrote parts of the story, or they did different things in the story, and then they had a completely different ending. So much so that it was open-ended. It was like an open-ended ending that eventually got wrapped up in a movie, which was actually really good too. But again, after some time, we got FMA Brotherhood, which is by far, hands down, probably the best of the 2.
Agreed. Definitely agreed. Because I watched some of the fights from FMA and FMA Brotherhood. Brotherhood definitely takes the cake on the fights, but they're still similar.
It definitely does, but there's a lot of similarities and stuff. And like the thing that I like to tell people when it comes to like FMA that haven't seen this before, my first bit of advice is like what, or like my first thing I ask is like what freaking rock have you been living under? But the other thing is like, um, if you have the time, watch the original series and then watch FMA Brotherhood, because there are little things and there's little things that happen in the first series that get taken out of the second series because it sort of assumes that you might have already seen the first series. So it kind of streamlines some things up until it gets to a certain part where they kind of converge, and then it becomes, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, like proper. But if you don't have time, for sure, Brotherhood is like the one to watch.
Yeah, all hands down.
All hands down. And like, I love these characters. I love both of them to death. Like, this, I guess you could consider it a shonen because it is about, young men, and it is kind of geared towards young men, but it's less of a battle shonen, and it's much more of like a mystery and intrigue, as well as like, you get to learn so much about this world, and I don't know, dude. Like, how would you describe this?
No, you hit it spot on. It's mystery. There's technically magic too, because they're alchemies. They're alchemists. Alchemists are kind of like magic based. Well, especially these two. Really Edward, I would say. Alphonse is kind of magic because he has no, like, the funny thing is he has no body, but his mind is there. And the only reason why that happened is because of Elric. That's Elric. That's their last names.
Edward.
Edward wanted to save his little brother, and the only way he could do that was to keep his mind there, but without the physical body, because it got sucked into the I'm gonna say portal. Yeah.
The Gate of Truth.
Yeah. So this is definitely definitely another top tier anime that definitely needs to be watched. If I'm definitely going to tell somebody about, outside of, like I said, the big three, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is definitely must watch anime if you've never seen it.
100%, yeah.
Again,
100%, yes.
Another one that the main characters are not my favorite. My favorite character is actually Roy Mustang. And when I meant like one of the dopest characters that's in an anime, like if you ever watch Attack on Titan, just think of Levi. He's literally Levi. That's
Levi,
exactly his
line.
Yeah, well, they call him. Some people call him Levi. Some people call him Levi. I don't know why.
And those people would be wrong who call him Levi. Okay.
Yeah. So, but that's who he's like. He's literally like Levi.
Dude, like, this is another one where I actually am a fan of the main characters. I'm not really sure which of the two brothers I like more. I would say it's Ed, just because like he does all the cool shit in the show, but once Alphonse, like, he sees the gate, he does some pretty cool shit too. I mean, I have a tattoo, which you probably can't see. Here, hold on, let me see if I can give myself a single and show, but no, you're not gonna be able to see it necessarily. Oh, kind of. I would have to twist my arm. It's not, you're not gonna be able to see it, but I have Al's blood seal on my arm. So
okay, yeah, you can see it a little bit, but not that much.
Yeah, no, it's because of, I would have to, like, basically, you know what? I'd have to stand up and show it this way. So let's do this.
There you go.
So yeah, I've got Al's blood seal here. I get a lot of questions about it from people who don't know, but it is definitely like it's 100% my number one favorite anime. I've watched it so many times. I absolutely love it. Both series I've watched so many times. I absolutely love it. Love the animation in both of them. I love the intrigue. I love the mystery. I love where both of them end up, honestly. There's not really anything more I can say about it other than, like, it's awesome. It's so good.
You'll even love the battles. Like, even the battles are fire. Like, my favorite, like, outside of Roy's battle with Is it Greed?
Lust.
No, Lust. No. Who's the main
Yeah, you
general?
might be thinking of Greed. Say what?
It was no. He didn't fight Greed. He fought. Who was the main boss? He fought him in his house.
The Fuhrer, King Bradley,
Yes,
Wrath.
Wrath. There we go. When he fought Wrath in his house, that to me that was the best fight. But the second best fight to me was when Alphonse and Edward are fighting the two, and these idiots thought that they can split them up and get away with it. And then I think it was Alphonse goes, all right, cool. Now I don't gotta hold back because no. Ed said it. Ed was like, all right, cool. Because he's like, oh well, we took the weak one away. He took him about Alphonse because he's just like in a suit. He said, all right, cool. Now I gotta hold back. He said, wait, what? He said, yeah, oh, him? He can hold his own. I'm not worried about him at all. I was like, oh yeah, he's about to get fucked up.
You're talking about the other suits of armor, right? You're talking about?
I believe it was 2 suits of armor.
Fighting?
Yeah. And they tried to split them up,
was
thinking it was going to work.
Right. Yeah, that was pretty dope. My favorite has to be I'm trying to think. Was it when Alphonse was fighting Pride? Maybe it's when Alphonse was fighting Gluttony. When they fought Gluttony and then they ended up inside. That was pretty insane. But yeah, man. I mean, that's all I've got to say about Full Metal Alchemist. I mean, I could go on and on, but I know that we're kind of crunching up our time here. So
yeah,
but
I'm kind of missing a little bit already. But yeah, it's like I said, you ever get a chance, top tier. It's definitely a top tier anime, and it's a must watch. So it's on Funimation. I know for sure it's on Funimation because wait, is that the one? Yeah, it's on Funimation. I literally have it up there because I was watching it.
Is it still on Netflix? Because it was on Netflix for a while. I think it might still be on Netflix. I could be wrong.
I don't think it's on Netflix anymore.
If not, it might be on Hulu. I'm pretty sure it is, but either way.
Yeah, must watch.
Yeah, dude. So there it is, folks. That's each of our respective top 5 anime, with the one that we both share. Obviously, there's some intersection between them just because we both have kind of seen some of the same shows. There's some stuff that I've seen he hasn't, and stuff he's seen I haven't. But overall, let us know what you think about our lists in the comments. If there's something else that you either have suggestions for us to watch, let us know. We'll give them a watch if we haven't yet, or maybe we'll talk about them the next time we bring up some anime stuff. We'll definitely have to do some more anime episodes just because I know that you and I, that was definitely aside from DC, that was the thing that kind of brought us together was anime in general. I mean, hell, our channel's named after, 2 animes kind of, pushed together. So or inspired by 2 animes kind of together. But that's all we've got for today, folks. Let us know again if you've got anything for us to watch or if there's anything you want us to talk about. You got anything you want to say before we head out of here?
Yeah, I would just say, stay tuned. We definitely, I'm not gonna lie, this has definitely have been fun for us. And we hope to, grow. So, we love, if you please, we love to bring other people. Like I always say, if there's anything that you want us to talk about, bring it up to us within the comments, and we'll talk about it within the next show. If we get it, even though we have our ideas of what we were going to talk about already, but we appreciate everybody that tunes in, and thank you to everybody. We truly appreciate you guys.
Thanks for everybody who tunes in. Anybody who watches, either on the replay or watches live. We'll catch you guys next time. Check our description. You'll see the links to our socials. both the Full Nerd Academia podcast socials as well as mine and Bonkai Merc's Instagrams. If you head over to my Instagram, I'm going to start adding some more photos, especially the stuff that I opened today on Monday morning toy show. So keep an eye on those. But until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and class is dismissed.
Yep. So he didn't finish what we were supposed to say.
What's that?
You forgot. Same. Well, actually, it won't be the same bad time, but it'll definitely be the same bad channel.
I think we might have to, come up with a different
slogan now. Yeah, we definitely will.
Different, just because that's already taken, and on top of that, like Fat Man Beyond uses that same fat time, same fat channel. But again, folks, thanks for joining us. Class is dismissed.